Well, good morning and welcome again to the Maximum Performance webinar series. Today's program is a part of an ongoing series that our company, Maximum Acceleration, the professional coaching company, launched back at the beginning of October of last year. And the goal and initiative of the program was to build a community of learning, to bring together an audience that was interested and committed to the growth of their business. In life, you've got the 80-20 rule. There's the 20%ers who do 80% of the work and get 80% of the results. Well, in reality, we find that it's really the 1 to 3%ers that actually do something with the ideas. And I want to applaud all of you for joining us for today's program. We're going to be bringing you a Power Packed program that we know will help you grow your business. And so I want to congratulate all of you for investing your time and your money and your energy and resources into doing these kinds of programs to perfect your craft and improve your quality of skill and ability to achieve a higher level of performance through these types of programs. As we go through today's program, the topic of today is what we call Realtor Roundup. We all know we work in a challenging environment. We all know that the market is a constant shifting sand of opportunities and challenges, and today we have two of our top coaches who also happen to be two of the nation's top realtors who are going to be bringing to you top solutions for today's challenges in the real estate market. Presenter Brad Korn, Coach Korn, is one of our Maximum Acceleration coaches that's been with us since about 2007. Also happens to be on faculty with the Keller Williams Institute, one of the MAPS certified coaches as well. But Brad is a top-notch realtor, closing an average of over 100 transactions a year the last 10 years in a row, and has been in the real estate market professionally for more than 15 years. Coach Linda Schneider has a very broad background in coaching from by referral only and the Franklin Covey Institute, the curriculum designer for that system as well. In addition, has been a top real estate coach and realtor for many years, and has just recently joined the Maximum Acceleration team, and we're excited to introduce Linda to our audience with today's program. And so the focus of today's program is really going to be about drilling down into what are the challenges, opportunities, and obstacles, and what are the solutions to the agents with those challenges. So what I'm going to do is just kind of a brief introduction about why we pulled the program together, and then we're going to do a little bit of a different format with today's webinar than we do with most of our webinars, in that we're going to do a little bit more of an interview panel type discussion. We're going to present a couple of case study solutions and challenges, and what I want you to focus on as a subscriber, as a mortgage professional, is think about two layers of value here for you. One is, can you absorb these concepts and relay them to the agents that you want to work with, so you can become a valuable partner or resource to those agents. Secondly, there's another layer of opportunity, which is you can begin to use this material, this webinar recording, as well as a teaching tool or a gift of knowledge that you could share with agents that you are doing business with or that you would like to do more business with. And we'll talk a little bit more about why you would maybe want to do that as we go through today's program. But there's two key opportunities here. Become the expert or become the resource. Either one will create massive value and great synergy with the agents that you're seeking to develop partnerships with. Well, there's one other concept I want you to think about. The first concept is partnership. Well, people talk about having real estate partners all the time. The difference is we don't necessarily understand or know why. What does a partnership really mean? Well, the first part of it is recognizing that there's power in partnerships, that there's leverage that can be created, and that there's resources and tools that we can agree to. I love this quote. It's an old Jewish proverb: plans fail where there's no counsel, but succeed where counsel is of any. In other words, we don't know what we don't know. Now think about the truth of that statement for just a minute. How could we? It's impossible for us to know what we don't know. The outside perspective of somebody that we can share guidance and information with is one of the most powerful assets that we can attain in our business. So if we're open to ideas and we think about different ways of approaching concepts and ideas, then we can create massive synergy and leverage with the partners that we want to develop. one other way of illustrating this is I love draft horses. I grew up in St. Louis. Of course, every parade you go to, there's the Budweiser Clydesdales going through the program. I started to research this a couple of years ago and found out that a lot of the concepts that we talk about in horsepower and leverage are very well associated with what was called the horsepower stakes. Back around the turn of the last century, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, a group of scientists went out to come up with a unit of measure for a large amount of force. And so they started doing weight sled testing with draft horses because that was the primary source of power, or a large amount of power at the time. And what they realized is that one horse pulling by himself can pull about 12,000 pounds on average. So if you have two horses pulling 12,000 pounds, obviously you get double the results, or 24,000 pounds. But the scientists ran into something very interesting when they tried to scale up the study. When you hitch two horses together, both pulling in the same direction on the same load, the record is over 104,000 pounds of pull, or roughly 8 times the results of one pulling by himself. So think about how that works out in the typical realtor-loan officer relationship. You know, a typical agent who's a full-time committed agent is capable of generating 10 to 15 leads a month. A typical committed full-time loan officer who's beating the streets and doing dialing for dollars type hunting style of business development, probably good for 10 to 15 leads. So if they're working independently, sort of a tit-for-tat, you send me a deal, I'll send you a deal type of relationship, there's a total potential of about 30 leads that could crisscross in that pattern. But what if we really change the dynamic of that relationship? What if we start working in tandem, in a true partnership, where we're working as a team on a common goal, and as a team attacking the challenges and problems that we both face in the market? Well, if that 8 times rule is true in this type of a business partnership, similar to how it is in the horsepower situation, we have the potential to generate 120 leads a month. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking immediately, well, that's impossible. How could you ever do it? Well, my hope is by the end of today's discussion that you'll have a much clearer understanding of how we can leverage our talents and resources and create systems and programs that generate that volume of leads and more by working in partnership. Now, the other reason that I bring up another simple point that we're going to be talking about throughout the theme of today's program is a concept called leverage. Part of the reason that the horsepower, the two horses hitched together can get 8 times the results is because a concept that's based on a simple machine is at work in that situation. Now, the basic building blocks of a lever, which is where the term leverage comes from, is based on this bar and pivot point concept. Now, here's the challenge. If I have that pivot point right in the middle, and the bar, you know, I've got 100 pounds of lift, of force on one side, I only get 100 pounds of lift on the other. The tool's really not doing me any good at that point. But all of a sudden, if I shift that pivot point just a few feet to one side, all of a sudden, with 100 pounds of effort, I get over 1,000 pounds of lift. So what we're going to be talking about today is how we can create that kind of leverage in conjunction with your real estate partners to create massive results and overcome the challenges that we all face in the markets. So let's get into the very first problem. One of the biggest challenges that we face as we're going through the markets and the real estate challenges and the difficulties that we're having throughout the industry is this whole issue of, especially in high index markets, higher cost markets like Southern California and the Pacific Northwest and the Northeast and metro urban areas, Chicago and Kansas City and St. Louis and some of those kind of markets. The higher the index cost, the greater the probability this is an issue. Is, you know, how many buyers out there are having it difficult to position themselves in properties? There's very little inventory, and the market has shifted very quickly to a seller's market. So, Coach Linda, why don't you go ahead and address this one for me first, since you happen to be in one of those high-cost, high-index markets.
All right, that sounds good, Eric. Yes, I'm in San Diego, and we have about 2 to 3 weeks of inventory in some of our neighborhoods. So we definitely need to write excellent offers to get our buyers' offers accepted, but More importantly, as a real estate agent, we need more listings. Listings are like money in the bank here. So as a lender partner trying to establish a relationship and a partnership with a real estate agent, one of the best things that you can do is to help the real estate agent build that listing inventory. So we talked about some of the ways to do that in our group, brainstorming and looking around our own communities and talking to our own real estate agents. And we came up with a few ideas, things that people are actually doing that work. And I think the key, though, to any kind of partnership, any technique that you apply, is what Eric just said about partnership. The first sale that you have to make as a lender is to the real estate agent to get them to understand what you mean by partnership. And of course, that means you understanding it too. What are you going to bring to the partnership? What would you like the real estate agent to bring to the partnership? And then what's your expectation of one another in that partnership? And it's that is going to help you create more listing inventory, because now working together, you can take scripts and processes and divide that up and say, here's what you're going to do, here's what I'm going to do, here's how we're going to work together to generate more leads. You can become, as a lender, actually, you could become a mentor or an accountability partner to that realtor. Realtors, like lenders, realtors are on their own. They're struggling to put everything together by themselves, where they're independent in a lot of cases. They don't have an office or a mentor in their office to help them move forward, to motivate them. You can be that partner, and if you've selected the right real estate agent and the right group of real estate agents to do this with, you can buoy them up. You can be the water under their boat that floats their boat and gets them more listings. And of course, when they get more listings, you want to carry it a step further and discuss how you're going to bring in more buyers and how you're going to work with those buyers. You know, one thing you can do when you do generate more listings, use the back of their flyer to market yourself, because people are picking up those flyers all day long. Maybe they don't know if they're qualified for a loan yet. They haven't gone that far. They're just out browsing. That's a great opportunity, and often an unmet opportunity for you to market yourself. And when you have that partnership with a listing agent, and you've helped build that listing inventory with them, then you become the same company essentially, and you get to take advantage of all that those buyers coming in. And together, you know, whether the buyer contacts the listing agent off the sign or the buyer contacts you, you trust one another in this relationship to know that that lead will also come to the other side. So, so Eric, that's my take. Do you have any other suggestions, or Brad?
Yeah, let me jump in here, guys.
Jump in.
Yeah, okay, guys, so listen up, okay? Here's the thing. What we are sharing with you today is how you are going to be different than every other loan officer in your marketplace. These ideas that Linda and I are going to share and that Eric is talking about, we want to separate you from your competition. So here's the thing. With real estate agents, here's the thing. You guys are in busy markets. They're busy. They're so busy, they're not worried about the next deal so much right now, and it's a false busyness. I just had a coaching call with a client yesterday who they just sold their last listing. You cannot be a successful real estate agent in real estate if you have no listings. That's how you control your business. So here's what I want you guys to hear out of this part right here. Be the one that makes them aware of the fact that you have got to get your listing inventory up. But there's no listings available. Then you and I need to meet for coffee. We need to meet for lunch. We got to get your listings up, because if you have no listings, when the market turns, you're out of business. I'm here to help you grow your business, because I know that if I help you grow your business, we're going to work together if we like each other, and we'll continue to grow our businesses together. So you got to have these types of conversations. So I'm going to give you some ideas and tips. What you guys need to do is get into relationship with these realtors, like Linda said. Make a hit list of the top 10 realtors that you would love to work with in your marketplace. Those are the guys guys and gals that you're going to target, and you're going to do whatever it takes to get in relationship with these people. Now you use the stuff that we're talking to you about today as talking points to get conversations started to see where they go. So I will tell you right now from personal experience and from coaching clients, where we are finding a lot of listing opportunities are all the listing appointments that we've been on in the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Here's the thing. Most of the appointments that an agent sits down at the kitchen table and goes through their presentation, they don't take half of those, okay? Either the person isn't in a position to sell, they were just trying to get an idea. Even when you hear your realtor partners say, I'm at 90% conversion of my listing appointments, it is 90% conversion of the ones they wanted. Would you say that that's the case, Linda?
Oh, yes. So there's a lot they didn't take.
Yeah, and I'm that honest guy that every time I heard this number, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, am I really that bad of a realtor? Because I'm at 50% conversion at the time of sitting at the table, because 50% of them aren't ready to do something, or I'm not ready to list their house because it looks like crap, or they're upside down, or whatever. Now, those 50%, 95% of those come back and list with us eventually, but it's because we stay in touch with them. So don't be fooled by numbers. In our head, we tell ourselves all kinds of statistics and numbers that confirm that we are successful, when in actuality, I will tell you guys right now, realtor to loan officer, the realtors in your marketplace, no matter how good they are probably closer to a 50% conversion rate from sitting at the kitchen table to taking a listing. The other ones are still there, and they're going to get them. It's just not now. So pull out those old appointments. Have them go through their calendar. Pull out all the old appointments, incoming sheets that they use. If they have a spreadsheet, I'm telling you, they took probably 5 out of the last 10 appointments they went on. There's 5 more sitting there, times however many days that is.
You know, Brad, I'm going to jump in because that's exactly what happened in my business. In '08, when the market started to crash, we had 12 listing appointments fall out. They just weren't ready to sell. They saw where the market was going. Things were getting worse, and the houses were staying on the market. Those are the first ones that we called this the beginning of this year. We went back to see how many of those could relist, and we've probably got 4 or 5 of those already in the pipeline for this year.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Eric just had a slide up there just about a market review. That's one thing that you can offer as a loan officer in that marketplace. If they need a talking point because they haven't talked to this person since they met with them and it was over a year ago, say, hey, let me soften them up for you. I'll just call them and do a review on their current mortgage and let them know that you kind of mentioned that they thought about selling a year ago, and you just soften them up. You guys can start lobbing them more listing appointments, and when you do that, I mean, your business is going to grow along with theirs.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump in here, guys. You know, Linda and Brad have both articulated some extremely valuable points about how agents can create more listings. And Brad, you guys in our audience, you're the 8x8 33-touch guy. You're the, make the phone ring again guy. And one of the concepts that our agents can take advantage of is okay, what about, especially in the higher index markets, the Southern California, Pacific Northwest, Boston, New York, those markets that are known for radical shifts in market, and what percentage growth month over month is California seeing right now. Think about the people who didn't list 6 months ago because they would have been in a short sale situation. Well, if the markets improve 10 to 15% in property value, they may not be underwater anymore. But if you're a buyer who wanted to upgrade 6 months ago, you probably still want to upgrade, right? Or relocate. The same reasons why they listed that property originally are probably still there, but they didn't see it as a reality or a possibility at that time. Now, the other thing that you could shift on that is remember that we are in a very, very rapidly closing window of home affordability here. Think about what home affordability would do if interest rates went up even 1.5%, and property values continue to escalate at their current rate and went up by the end of the year another 12, 15, 20%. 2 years down the road, those people who could afford, there won't be anything available for $2,500 or $3,000 a month because you'll be looking at a shack, 50 miles from downtown kind of thing. So think about the opportunity to reach out to people and reconnect. Now, one of the ways we can do that is what we call a home opportunity review call. You know, guys, you'll get the PowerPoint with today's program, so I'm going to flash through this and get on to the next topic. But one way to reach out to those clients is, and get your agents to get comfortable reaching out to their past clients, or as Coach Brad suggested, offer to do it for them. Call out and talk to those people, let them know about the incredible housing opportunity that exists right now, how much home affordability will be negatively impacted if they don't do something now. And even those properties that, yeah, they wouldn't be selling it at the premium that they bought it for back in 2006, but they would be buying the new property at such a discount for where it could go that it still makes sense to make the move now. Because if interest rates climbed up 2 points, all of a sudden they lose $100,000 in house affordability for the same payment. So think about how to get your agents going in the right direction. Give them some of those basic numbers and talking points that they can turn around and use if they want to do the reconnection with the client directly, or offer to do it for them. So that's one of the best ways of getting more listings, is to go ahead and do that. All right.
Eric, I just wanted to make a point here, because we got a lot of information on a couple of these slides. You guys will have access to this webinar afterwards because you registered, and you can grab any more information off these slides. We just want to make sure we give you the most information possible crammed in this little 45-minute, 1-hour time block.
Definitely, definitely. All right, well, let's get on to one of the other big issues. By the way, one quick way that you can actually automate this process is this is a listing questionnaire, home opportunity questionnaire that we can create. This is actually one I do with one of the agents I work with personally. Emily Herndon and I use this kind of a program to help engage their clients, help them identify what the housing opportunities are, and help them be able to make some sense of whether they should move forward or not. Whether we take the information from them over the phone directly, or whether we email or mail it to them for them to fill out and return. Okay, the next big challenge: multiple offers, borrowers losing out because they aren't in a strong enough position. All right, so what I'm going to do is, if you guys understand the problem, and Brad, if you feel like I haven't done a great job, I don't know if I did an awesome job at articulating what the real problem is, but Brad, why don't you go ahead and take the lead on this one? How do we help agents position their buyers better to actually get some attention when in a competing offer situation?
Okay, so again, guys, when you are getting into relationship with the realtors that you're targeting in your marketplace to do business with them, it's not pop by and drop off a book, or pop by and drop off a rate sheet. I mean, seriously, how well is that working for you? It's time to move beyond that and start getting into relationship with these people. These realtors, they are hurting. I mean, coming out of this bad market, and so I'm not saying mortgage officers aren't either. We're all coming out of a bad market. But when somebody says, let's get our businesses growing together, that's where you're going to own that business forever. So one of the things, a talking point, is multiple offers. And I'm going to pretty much go on record and say pretty much every market, or just about every market in the country right now, is starting to experience this again. Obviously, where Linda is, it's like 10, 15, 20 offers. But in Kansas City, we're starting to see 1 and 2 multiple offers, 3 offers at one time. So that's a very slower changing market, yet we're still seeing multiple offers. I probably have 3 offers in the last 3 months that have had multiple offers on it, because the inventory levels are shrinking up across the country. So what's going to happen is, this is your benefit if you can work this into your conversations with your realtors when you're spending some time with them to find out what their issues are. You can bring up, so what about multiple offers? Have you had any multiple offers at all that you've lost, where your buyers lost out or whatever? Guys, you can provide pre-approval. I mean, all the things that you do in your business to lock that buyer up and get their loan secured as soon as possible is the best thing you can do for your agent. It's like having a buyer walk into a multiple offer situation with a suitcase of cash, and that's, I would use those words with your realtors. Say, when you get my pre-approval letter, if you can back it up, when you get my pre-approval letter, it's like your buyer is walking in with a suitcase of cash, and here's some of the things that you want to make sure you spell out with your offers when you think there are multiple offers. So it's really about just watching your process and getting these people pre-approved ahead of time. I mean, I used to use the old script all the time in in competing offers, multiple offers, that if you write an offer, if 3 people write offers and the other 2 buyers haven't even been in to talk to a lender yet, and you have been, you're going to have an upper advantage even if you don't have the highest, best offer. So really use those kind of conversations with the realtors because they understand what that means. That's them getting a deal put together because you are giving them paper with cash.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, go ahead, Linda.
So in my market, as you said, Brad, it's extremely tight. Just over the weekend, I lost out on 2 offers because of competing offers, over 17 offers in one case. One of the things, though, that you can educate your realtors on, and many do not understand this, and you may need to educate yourself about it too, but in the real estate contract, you can write the contract to have an escalator clause. Many of you understand that. That just simply means I'm offering this price plus $1,000 or $100, however much you want to make it, over the next highest price up to a certain amount. And not every agent will accept that, but occasionally they will, and it just gives you one other little tool in your toolbox. The other thing that you can do, as Brad said, give that full pre-approval. But also, one of the things that is causing us to lose deals is the close of escrow. If I can guarantee that I can get a 30-day close of escrow or even a 25-day close of escrow, I have a much better position than somebody who's saying a 45-day close of escrow. So if I can trust that my lender partner can actually do that, can do that close of escrow in 30 days or 25 days, I can present that with much greater authority. The other thing is it would be nice to be able to have proof of funds included with the offer. I know that we get a loan approval letter, but also having proof of funds with the offer is a big step. Now, I can ask my buyer for that proof of funds, but the lender asking for that makes more sense than it's included as a single package. And finally, the last thing is a willingness to call the listing agent. When I present an offer, I call my lender and I say, hey, would you give the listing agent a call, make sure they know that my lender is completely qualified, give them that reassurance. And that does take a lot of the uncertainty out of the process and helps us get our offers accepted.
Hey, can I just say, boom! Did you guys get that? Boom! This is coming from a top agent. Listen, you guys want to protect your trustworthiness in the marketplace. I have never, well, actually, I take that back. I've gotten one call from one lender as the listing agent. You want to secure your agent that you're working with and secure their buyers' just trustworthiness and confidence and everything in that contract. Do that. Man, one simple thing, guys. I know you're busy. Pick up the phone and call the listing agent. They're busy too. They won't talk to you for very long, I promise. They just want to hear your voice say, everything looks great on this side. I got one lender in all of Kansas City that will call me when they've got the buyer on my listings. It is amazing that more people are not doing that. I hope you wrote that one down. That's huge.
That is awesome. And Brad, I have to tease you a little bit because I know who that guy is, and guess what? There's a reason that one guy does it. You know why? Because he's a maximum acceleration client, and I taught him to.
Oh, you know what else? He actually shows up. He shows up for the closing. That's amazing.
Oh, boy.
It is pretty amazing. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, there's a couple of key anchor points that I want to tick in here. One is be proactive. Two, offer to help your agent at the time of presentation. And you just heard two agents who both told you they would love that. I don't know how many loan officers I've talked to or say they're afraid of that or they don't think their agent would let them do it. You just heard two top agents tell you they want it. They want your help in positioning, because who better to communicate to the listing agent the qualification ability. Now, by the way, there's another secret sauce piece here, which is, you just heard Linda share, timeline is important. Keep in mind, this is people's lives, right? They're moving. They're selling out of one house. They're going to have their stuff in a moving truck. The timing of that move is very important to the buyer as well as to the seller. So it's important that we set clear expectations. Now, the trick to that is we need to get access as lenders to the buyer earlier in the process. So when your agent says something about, can you close on time, talking to the agent about the fact that, time is something that we don't necessarily control. And we'll get into timeline here in just a little bit. But long story short is the best way that I can help you have a smoother and on-time closing is get me in the talking to the buyer earlier in the process. The first thing that we teach our loan officer clients in coaching to do is to work with agents to understand the importance of getting us that buyer within the first couple of seconds that you're talking to them so that we can get them accurately pre-qualified and that we can get the loan application process going at the time of first contact while they're out shopping for property, so that when they do find the perfect house, we're most of the way done with the underwriting and we've got a full package ready to submit. Or even if you can do what one of my clients in Southern California does, which he created what he calls a fast pass program. He worked with his underwriters and lending team to be able to submit applications without property to underwriting so that he has a formal underwriting approval on those buyers before they've even found a house. The value of that to the agent, you just heard two agents tell you, would be like a gold mine when it comes to helping your buyers in a competing offer situation. Okay,
Eric,
so
let me jump in here real quick because I know we got some more challenges we want to cover, but let me recap one thing that you just said. Guys, you don't ask if you can call the listing agent. If you're confident in what you're bringing to the table and you are confident in that you are the loan officer that that agent's buyer needs and they become your client as well, I understand that. But, man, you tell them, here is how I operate. We call the listing agent because it anchors everything and makes the transaction smoother for you. Bring it back to the benefits of what you do for you. And I got to add one more thing as we're going through this, Eric. If you're working at a company where you don't have the confidence of things closing on time because things are leaving your control and all that stuff, you need to get with somebody higher up and figure out ways to make it work. You have to have that confidence behind you, otherwise you're just like everybody else. And your company, the bank manager, mortgage department, whatever, they're going to want to have that conversation with you. They would love to have that conversation with you. So anyway, let's keep going.
Real quick, I got to jump in and say one thing too, Brad. This is about leadership. This is about you being a lender that takes the leadership role in your own business as well as in the partnership with the realtor.
Exactly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Is kind of the basic concept. All right, well, let's move on to the next big challenge that we find. I think I don't know, you guys tell me whether you agree as audience, whether it's, is it tough to get in with a top-notch agent who's seasoned and experienced? The practical reality is the top-producing agents probably already have really good partnerships with lenders, so it's a little bit harder to get in. So where's a real opportunity, particularly if you're even a little bit younger? And when I say young agent, by the way, I don't necessarily mean, age, in physical age. What I mean is tenure in the business, how many years you've been doing this kind of thing. One of the greatest successes I ever had in my practice was starting out with people who were young, just gotten into the business, new to the business, and were ambitious, hungry, and had great work ethic. Those were some of my favorite people to work with as an originator when I was building my practice towards the 20 or so loans a month that I averaged when I left retail the first time. That was a big hallmark of it. Of the 13 agents that I worked with, that was 95% of the business that I was doing that year. 9 of them were brand new agents when I first met them. And every one of those agents I could count on for at least 5 to 8 good buyer leads a month. That's how I was doing 20-plus loans a month closing-wise. So one of the opportunities in this market is what are some of the challenges that younger agents are facing? Linda, why don't you go ahead and start with this issue, because this was one of the, in our discussions prior to the webinar, this was one of the things that I thought that was a learning lesson for me, and I was really excited to hear you share it.
Yeah, you bet. This is such an opportunity for lenders. There are so many real estate agents out there struggling, trying to figure it out. Which way do I go? How do I get more clients? You can come to them with this package, being able to teach them, give them ideas, hold their hand, hold them accountable a little bit, mentor them by giving them great suggestions. Take them to lunch, take them to coffee, and say, hey, I can help you build your business. Let's talk about how to do that. And one of the things, in my market, one of the things that's very, very challenging is young agents or newer agents tend to like to hold open houses to get clients. But we don't have any open houses because as soon as something's listed, it's got 3, 4, 5, 6 offers. And we never even get around to having the open house. And so agents who are in offices like Coldwell Banker or Prudential, those larger offices, even Keller Williams, might be finding it hard to get open houses. So what I tell them is go ahead and call all the independent brokers. Get on the phone, get in the MLS, find out who the 1 or 2 listing agents are, you know, those that get only 1 or 2 listings a year or occasional listings, and maybe they're part-timers in the industry, maybe they're from out of the area, maybe they're independent brokers just kind of doing their own thing. You know, the more they are alone, the more they're going to need help, and the more willing they would be to say, hey, yes, hold my open house. Now, I have seen agents hold open houses for out-of-area agents who list the property maybe for a relative or a friend, and I've seen those agents then convert that into their own listing because it's very challenging for a listing agent to service that listing if they're out of the area. So this is something that you can suggest to newer agents in your area. You could suggest to them, one of my favorite strategies is to go door knocking, to just go around and pick a neighborhood and start canvassing that neighborhood door to door. Have a great script. You know, I teach a terrific fast script that gets them into rapport very quickly at the door, and then they can move on unless, of course, that conversation continues. And this is a wonderful way to get leads. And sometimes those leads will be ready to go right now. You know, hey, I was just thinking about calling a realtor to talk about listing my house. And but a lot of times that'll just be your pipeline that you're building for the future. So door knocking is an opportunity that you can talk to these young agents about. First-time buyer seminars. This is the market, guys, to start doing first-time buyer seminars again. All of a sudden, I'm having first-time buyers again, and I haven't had them for years. And they're just coming out of the woodwork. So I would say now is the time to start holding those first-time buyer seminars. Great opportunities for you as a lender to pick up buyers. If you want to hold first-time seller seminars, you can hold those with financial planners as well as real estate agents. But definitely hit those first-time buyer seminars at this point. So there's a few ideas, and of course there's tons more that you could help them with.
Definitely. Awesome, awesome, guys. Well, hopefully you guys are getting some great taking points. You know, another way that I found that works extremely well is young agents all know people, right? You know, new to the business, you all have a whole, you know, it's one of my biggest suggestions and one of the best strategies I've found over the years that worked well in coaching realtors and coaching younger, new to the business agents and loan officers, in all honesty, is you all have a previous life. You all have hundreds of contacts from that previous life. And those are all people that know, like, and trust you, so why not leverage those? Now, if we do it the wrong way, we can offend and abuse those relationships, but if we do it from a very servant-oriented mindset, you know, look at it, guys. You know, by the way, Linda, I usually refer to them now as home opportunity workshops instead of home buyer workshops. So be careful to avoid negative triggers. Nobody wants to buy anything. Everybody wants an opportunity to own a home. A little bit different psychology there, but so we call them home opportunity initiatives. Well, you know, I am in the process of, and the coaching team and I are in the process of launching in the next couple of weeks or over the next couple of months. I really have a strong passion and desire for this area that we are going to be launching. And I'll just put it out there, guys. You can hold me accountable to it. We are going to be launching a home opportunity initiative, Make a Difference challenge this fall, and we will be providing even cash prizes to encourage people to take action on this idea. But long story short, one of the easiest ways to communicate that is to just ask who. You know, think about the people that can benefit from buying a home and start asking who. You know, talking to your sphere of influence. Teach your agents to talk to the people they know. You know, this is an incredibly amazing home opportunity right now. There's a million things that people could buy right now, and what we're finding is most families could get into a much nicer home than what they're currently spending on mortgage or rent because of what they bought or what they moved into 3, 5, 8 years ago. And just because of the extremely low interest rates and the still relatively affordable property, if you think about the peaks of 2006, your money goes a lot farther today than it will at any point in the coming future, but that window is slamming shut. I mean, it will be closing rapidly quick. So we're just really passionate about getting the message out about how affordable housing is right now, and now is the time to take action on it. So I'd really like to enlist your help in some of that. Is it okay? Let me ask you something. Who do you know that? And then you can put up a whole bunch of who questions, and we'll kind of jump into that a little bit. But that's kind of you know, another way that you can help those younger agents is help them tap into their existing relationships, the people they know, the people that they should be talking to on a regular basis. Okay, I think we got time for maybe one more opportunity, one more challenge, and then we're going to skip through a couple of things, guys, and get you some more information. But the next issue we talked about was the hot markets. You know, Brad, I think you brought this issue up. You know, what do you do with the agents who are just overwhelmed? They've got more leads than they can handle, and things are, the funnel's plugged up and things are overflowing at the top. You know, they're losing leads because they just don't have efficient systems or processes in place to handle the volume of leads that are coming at them.
Yeah, here, guys, listen to this. Okay, so this is going to actually take care of Challenge 3 and Challenge 4. Here's one idea. I personally coached loan officers on this program. It takes a little while to get it into place, but I just want you to hear the concept so you can get excited about it and understand that when we're looking at something and somebody, if I have a coaching client that says, I have a challenge, I don't have enough leads coming in, I'm looking at not ways to get a couple of leads here and there. I'm looking at proven ways to get the most leads and create a system that will help you get in touch with them more often. So the first thing we're going to talk about on this losing leads is this all comes back to what Linda said about leadership. If you are in the mortgage industry and you are waiting for the realtors to touch base with their database and create the relationships and stay in touch with them, you're going to be waiting for a long time. I've been coaching real estate agents for just as long as I've coached loan officers, and nobody is staying in touch with their leads very well. Everybody's waiting. We're doing this mass marketing out to the world, as many people as we can hit. I mean, massive email campaigns, postcard campaigns are starting to come back. Whatever we can do to reach the masses so that a few deals will shake out. Guys, I'm tired of waiting for 1 or 2 deals to shake out of everything I do, and then every day coming into the office doing it again, waiting for the next 2 or 3 deals. How would you like to build a pipeline of incredible business that in the next year, what you do between now and then just starts spitting out business, okay? So it is about, I'll give you a couple of quick tips here on getting these lost leads back into a converted lead and stay in touch with them. The first thing is, whatever your agents are doing to generate leads, if it's the internet, like right now when Eric said about being overwhelmed with leads, it's the internet. They've got so many leads coming in, they shouldn't even be talking about lead generation if they've signed up for some of these sites that are bringing them thousands of internet leads. Why don't you help them get those internet leads converted? And I'll tell you, here's the secret. Write this down. 3 minutes or less. Not a half a day, not tomorrow, not an hour from now, not 10 minutes from now. 3 minutes or less, somebody needs to respond to that internet lead. Your agents feel like and are running around like chickens with their head cut off thinking they're so busy right now, they don't have time to follow up with 1,000 internet leads in 3 minutes or less. Well, I'm not saying you do either, but this goes back to what Eric said earlier about leverage. You and the agent together focusing on that are going to be able to get in front of way more leads in 3 minutes or less if you're both focused on it on a continual basis. Guys, I'm going to tell you a secret here. I have invited, if I were a loan officer, these are the things I would do for agents in my marketplace, but since I'm the agent and I know how to do it, I'm trying to bring the loan officers in on this. I've got agents that are signed up and contributing to some of our internet lead conversion, and I tell them right up front, before I take any money from you, you have got to be committed to following up with these leads in 3 minutes or less, or I don't want your money. I want you to make 5 to 10 times return on whatever you're investing to contribute to this internet lead website program, and we're going to sit here and figure it out until you do. So every lender I've ever brought in doesn't keep up with the leads, and I'm the one that's going to them. They're writing me a check to pay for the website, and I'm the one that's hounding them going, hey, what's going on? You haven't been on the site in 3 days. You got to start calling these people back. If you're not making money, dude, you're wasting your money. And they're writing me the check, guys. You're not going to get that from most realtors. So take that leadership role, come into these realtors and say, listen, we've got to figure this out. We've got to convert more, 10 to 15% more. So 3 minutes or less is a rule. I'll give you one more real quick idea that if you want to turn the listings on for your agents and turn on a fire hose of lead opportunities, these are better than internet leads, though. Have you heard of like the call capture systems, like the 800 number writer that goes on a sign where they call and listen to the recording of the house? Guys, how many, just drive around and look at the signs in the yards. 90% of the realtors in your marketplace have a name and a telephone number on a sign in somebody's yard. Do you know how many buyers are racing home to call real estate agents to ask questions about a house? None. It's not happening. You'll get some that do flyer boxes. You know how many calls they're getting to their office from 200 flyers in a flyer box? Maybe 2. Okay, I've done it. I've tested it. You put an 800 number writer. If you're a loan officer and you go to the realtors you're targeting and say, are you getting enough business? The answer is automatically going to be no, or I'm pretty busy right now, so you've got all the business you need. Oh, no, I could always use more. Great. How about if I offered you a free recorded message that caller ID captures buyer's information, pages it to you in me instantly, and between both of us, we call them back in 3 minutes or less and answer their questions about the property? Dude, you could have your 800 number listings, 800 number writers. If you were in Kansas City, I've got 40 listings. There's 25,000 houses for sale, and there's probably 5 people using an 800 number. So there's 100 listings minus 25,000. You have 24,900 listings. You could have your 800 number on tomorrow if you could handle it, okay? So all I'm saying is pick your target of 4, 5, 6 agents that you want to do business with. Go have lunch with them. Offer them free marketing on their property. Tell them how they can go to their seller and say, we've just bumped up our marketing to a 24/7 free recorded message that captures buyers' numbers, and this lender's providing it. Or they can just say they're providing it as part of their marketing package. Who really cares, right? You guys, your phone will light up. On 40 listings, it's about 150 to 200 calls every single month. So, of course, there's a lot more. This is a whole program that I coach people on, but that's to give you an idea of just going to sign up for a $40 a month 800 number system, and you only pay the per minute charges for the calls coming through. Guys, get a system in place. Call them back fast. You will convert more business for these agents than anybody's ever done for them ever.
Great, Brad. You know, tomorrow I'm going to go out and get my 800 writers up. I can't believe that I don't have that.
Well, you know what's funny, Linda, is because we're in a high-tech world, and when I sit down with sellers, I say, now, believe me, there's agents that are coming in here wooing you with all kinds of cool technology like text writers, and have you heard of those QR code things? Well, here's the way I put it. It's like sometimes technology, a simple 800 number, we are programmed as an entire planet that 800 number is free. And when it says free recorded message on the sign, they feel like they're anonymous. I put up a text writer and drive 100 people past the property. Maybe 10 people will text for the flyer. And even in California, in a high-tech market, maybe 20 out of 100. How many people will get out of their car and walk over to a sign and scan a QR code? None. How many people will call an 800 number?
Yeah, and everybody has their phone on them, and easy enough to remember an 800 number because you don't have to remember the 800 part. All you have to remember is the 7 digits behind it. Okay, Brad, one quick thing. One of the Q&A questions that popped up is what system do you recommend, and can you pop that into the chat for me? As we're moving on here, guys, obviously, you know, we're pumping a ton of information. There's a whole lot more. In fact, we're probably going to do a 2.0, you know, a part 2 of this because there's a whole lot more we ran out of time to get to today. In fact, we're going to even cruise right on through the Q&A today. Don't forget to post your questions. I know our coaching team is going to follow up with those, but there's a couple of key things that I want you to think about. Throughout the theme of today's program, one thing I hope has resonated with you is you need to be a partner and a resource to your agents. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to create value that goes way beyond any one transaction or even beyond any hundreds of transactions, if you want to stop being only as good as your last deal, you've got to focus on being more valuable. So I want you to think about one key quick concept for a second. Look at these guys on the screen, the Michael Jordans, the Wayne Gretzky's, the Tom Brady's of the world. What do they all have in common? Well, the answer is they all have somebody to hold them accountable. They all have somebody that they trust and respect enough that they're going to feel guilty if they don't follow through on the promises that they make to them. Now think about how that plays out with you and your potential real estate business development partners. You can become that masterminding buddy, that running buddy, that accountability partner to them. Now, if you don't have that kind of person in your life, if you've never experienced the value of that, that is an element of what we provide for coaching. But I'm not here to pitch you a whole bunch of coaching. That's not our game here. We're trying to give you ideas, tools, and resources you can implement immediately. But some of you have been asking about in the chat and Q&A, how can you get that kind of high-powered support, accountability, and guidance all the time that you can depend on, that you can have in your back pocket, that is your power resource to help you create maximum acceleration in your business? Well, it starts by committing and thinking about how you can become an accountability partner to others. Well, one of them starts with an investment. You're going to invest time, you're going to invest energy, and you're probably going to invest some money. If you're going to become an accountability partner to those agents, three things that you've got to provide. One is you've got to give them the outside perspective, help them see, care enough to get in their face if you need to, and because we all get so busy we can't see the forest for the trees. We just keep doing what we've always done because it's what feels right, but we don't know what we don't know until somebody cares enough to point it out for us. So you be that person who cares enough to point out their thinking errors or their challenges or where they're running around spinning their wheels on a whole bunch of stuff that's not producing results. I mean, that's a big part of what we do in coaching right off the bat. Everybody, a lot of times coaching, people will ask us, well, geez, let me get this, and this. Let me hire this new person. Let me get this new system. Let me get through this change in lenders or companies. No. The reality is the majority of the work we do with clients is about helping them change the game faster and getting through those difficult transitions by giving them that outside perspective, teaching them and caring enough to show them what they don't know. Second thing you got to do is you got to be focused on steady progress and growth. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
You got 2 minutes to wrap this up, though, Brad. Keep it in mind.
Yeah, so all I'm saying, you guys be the implementer, because most of them are not implementers. They can get all these great ideas. And I mean, that Eric's about to show you, don't get off here early, guys. There is a ton of stuff coming up, and Maximum Acceleration is growing at maximum acceleration speed right now. We are bringing a lot of opportunities. Now, we don't expect everybody to jump on everything, but I'm telling you what, Eric's got about 5 or 6 things coming up that you guys need to be aware of. One of those or 2 of those might work for you. They might all work for you. None of them might work for you. But stay in here so you know how to get this stuff implemented, and be your agent's implementer is what I really wanted to get at on this stuff.
Awesome. All right, well, let me jump through this really quickly. First of all, Linda mentioned the importance of doing home opportunity workshops, and funny enough, an expert in this field is Coach Derek Egerberg, who's going to be joining us next week, next Tuesday, for more information about doing home opportunity workshops and how to set that up and run them effectively. If you want, that's a free program. There's no cost or obligation for that program, just simply something that we want to do to help you get more information. It's the next partner series. If you are feel like you would be the kind of person who learns and implements better by attending live events, we've got a couple of live events coming up. We run what we call the Maximum Growth Summit, which is a 5-step process that walks you all the way through creating your action plan for success for the next 6 to 12 months. It's a very focused, very tactical action planning boot camp style environment where we're going to roll up your sleeves and get you to create your plan live, real time during that program and process, through that 5-phase process. There's 2 great ways you can get access to it. Las Vegas, June 7th, in conjunction with the Mastermind 2013 program. Jump on our website, mxlcoach.com/events. Type in, the The access code acceleration on our website zeroes out it'll walk you through step-by-step how to register for that program if you want to come out see us live in Las Vegas. Second option is that process is going to be repeated as part of the Ultimate Mortgage Expo, June 9th through the 11th in Atlantic City. If you're on the East Coast and that's easier for you to get access to, open registration for the Ultimate Mortgage Expo. By the way, you can attend on our behalf for free. If you put in discount code MADISC, not only will you be able to attend our Maximum Growth Summit tracks, which are going to be the breakout session in the context of that conference, you'll also be able to attend everything else that's going on with the event, including CE and some other opportunities for free. So you just go to the ultimatemortgageexpo.com website, punch in the MADISC code, and that will get you plugged in. Thirdly, you heard Brad talk about his Make Again boot camp, the steps that need to be taken to implement a high efficiency and high productivity boot camp in an 8-week session, one session a week for 8 weeks. Brad is going to walk you through step-by-step building blocks of how to get your system up and running. And it's going to be that workshop, web shop style program. You're going to build it together as a team. You're going to get to mastermind with other thought leaders in the community, people, the 1%ers who are serious about investing in themselves and in their business to get a massive return on their value. If you want to take advantage of that, 8 weeks to mastery, the program starts Monday, the 6th. And by the way, these are all going to be video recorded with action plans and a complete toolkit that Brad's going to provide to you. Go to CoachKorn.com/mortgage, CoachKorn.com/mortgage. By the way, I know some of you are jumping off to look at other websites. That's okay. Keep listening. You can come on back. By the way, there's a bundle offer here at the end that we're going to be coming back to where you can get access to all of these great tools and resources that we talked about here in just a bit. But what we're talking about and what we're offering and what we're doing is that you're going to be able to have access to all this information, all these tools and resources. But if you like one of them more than any others, and that's a great right fit for you, it's going to be the perfect thing to help you take it to the next level. Take action. Don't wait. Get involved now.
Hey, Aaron,
Brad's
I'm just
boot
going
camp
to add
starts
one
on the
thing
6th.
on there. I've got a coaching client, Jeremy Forcier, that's over in Petaluma, California. When he followed this system, he got his realtors to hand their database over to him. That sounds absolutely absurd, and people listening would say, how am I going to get a realtor to hand me their database? And that's exactly what Jeremy said. When you follow these systems and you build a relationship with people and they know you are really there to help them, they will give you their database. Because if you're waiting for them to stay in touch with their database, it isn't happening. I'm telling you.
Right.
You could even invite your realtor buddies to come on the call with you. They're going to learn as much as you are, and then you guys can work together as a team.
Absolutely, guys. Everybody wants the done-for-you system. Well, this is how Coach Brad's going to show you as an originator how to build a system that will turn into a done-for-you system that you can offer to agents. It's a gold mine. Guys, you're going to get a 3,000 times return on your investment. I'd be absolutely shocked if you didn't make at least $24,000 to $30,000 additional revenue in the next 12 months if you only do a quarter of what Coach Brad is going to teach you. The program is regularly $5.99. Coach Brad has offered a $100 discount to that program. It's $247 per month. I mean, that's pennies on the dollar of what you're going to get ROI. Don't wait. Take the time. Make the investment now. You know, I got to tell you, the only people who aren't going to benefit from this people are people who are too lazy to implement. And if that's you, then no, this isn't a good fit. You know, you're probably not going to even be accepted to the program if that's the case. But if you're serious about taking your business to the next level, implementing tools, ideas, and strategies that are going to benefit you thousands of times over return on the measly little investment you're going to have to make to be a part of it, why wait? Why would you not? I mean, you'd be anyway. Okay, so that's one option. I'll quit hammering you on that. Another opportunity that's coming off the heels of that is our extended critical mass group coaching program, which is a masterminding program for thought leaders. You'll be in a week, a bi-weekly coaching session, no more than 8 originators at a similar pace and scale of growth. There's going to be a very purposefully, there's a structured curriculum that underrides this. It's a 13 module curriculum program, 26 weeks program, or 26 session program running over the course of a year. The program is relatively scalable, but think about if you can benefit. You know, who are the people that go out and hire a coach? Who are the people that benefit from coaches? Well, I mean, top performers, CEOs, executives, politicians, athletes, pretty much anybody outside the mortgage industry, they hire a coach. They want to get better at a specific skill set or a specific set of ideas. I invest in coaches. I just spent, the money to go out to LA for 4 days to hang out with my coach. And that's a $15,000 a year program, guys. And there's people in that program that work with him at a deeper level who are spending $30,000 or even $100,000 a year for the advice, guidance, and accountability they need to take their game to a whole other level. So if you're interested in the Critical Mass program, you can go directly to our customer service teams and start talking to Christy. She'll walk you through. The next session is starting probably on or around the week of the 13th or 20th of May. We're trying to pull the final details of that next group together. If you're interested in investing in yourself, if you're serious about taking things to the next level, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a full battery of assessments. You're going to get the 2-hour pre-launch session and a team introduction. You're going to get a personal business plan and action growth plan. You're going to get the 6-month program, which is a bi-weekly session for 6 months. You're going to get 6 months of access to the Mortgage Market Guide, Mortgage Success Source resources, which includes Loan Toolbox, the Platinum Pro marketing system, the Mortgage Market Guide weekly subscriptions. You're going to get the access to to Brad Korn's 8-week boot camp. You're going to get access to the videos and recordings of a couple of other different programs. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, can you afford not to spend $300 or $399 a month to take your business to a revolutionary level? Think about it. One additional loan is a 3 to 4 times return on your monthly coaching investment. Our number one goal, and by the way, we offer a 6-month money-back guarantee. If you're not totally 100% satisfied, you've gotten way more than your money's worth out of this program, we'll give you the money back. Secondly, here's how you register. If you're ready to take it to the next level, if you're ready to move on, go to our site, the Maximum Acceleration website, mxlcoach.com, www.mxlcoach.com. Click on the Programs tab, and under Group Coaching, click on Group Coaching, and then you'll want to scroll down the page just a little bit until you see the registration. Now, you've got 2 options to register for the Critical Mass Coaching Program. It's what you need to take your business to the next level. It's based on the research, the science, and the study of the thousands of originators we've put through this program in the past 10 years. What were the 13 core competencies that maximized their business growth and acceleration? Guys, if you want to save a little bit, make an upfront payment. You'll be more accountable to the process if you put some serious skin in the game. You can take advantage of save $397 if you do the upfront single payment option. Option 2, if you need to scale it out and budget for it a little easier by putting it into monthly chunks for $49 deposit, initial first month's fee. By the way, you get the first 30 days is covered under that initial deposit and assessment, the second billing. The second investment isn't processed until you've been in the program for 30 full days and you're achieving results already. Guys, go ahead and go to the website now, register for that program, get involved, and participate. I guarantee you will see results. All right, so bonus offers, by the way, if that's not enough, we recently did the Maximum Influence webinar series. Master influencer Greg Frost, one of the first billion-dollar originators in the United States ever, is now available on demand. If you're interested in participating, you can go to thegregfrost.com. Now, by the way, you get that along with the Critical Mass Coaching Program, in addition to Brad's 8-week boot camp on Make the Phone Ring Again, and all of the other information, tools, and resources. Extensive library of information, including the practical automated marketing system. So, guys, the last thing I want to share with you today is if you are ready to get started, if you're ready to take action, do so now. Don't wait. Don't sit back 3 weeks, 5 months, 6 months, a year from now wishing that you had done something to take your business to the next level. Make the commitment, make the investment, and change your life. Guys, that's what we're here to do. So, last thing I want to share with all of you on today's webinar is don't squander the investment of the time that you've made in today's program. You've committed your effort, you've committed your time, and you've committed your energy to today's program. Now, take some action. Even if none of these programs are right fit for you right now, if you're not ready to take your business to a whole other level, if you're not willing to make that investment, you can still get a lot of value out of today's program. What I want you to do is take 4 simple steps to put one key idea in play. 1, first question you got to ask yourself, what was the most valuable idea you heard in today's program? Make that one decision. You'll have the video and resources you can come back to and refer to later. Secondly, what action do you need to take to make this part of your daily business immediately? What's the very next step you need to take? Maybe it's listening back to the video and perfecting that reach out script. Maybe it's calling up and asking for a free strategy session with Coach Linda, where she'll spend 30 minutes with you going deep on how to reach out and present that escalator clause. Maybe it's going ahead and signing up for Brad's 8-week boot camp and starting, getting your automated drip and follow-up and the lead mastery system in place. Whatever that is, take action. Decide what you need to do to move that idea into action, because ideas without action are worthless. I don't care how great you understand an idea. You could be the master at being able to explain it to people, but if you're not using it, it's not paying you. And that's what we're here to do, is help you get paid more and more frequently. So last thing, by when are you going to have that action implemented? Now, if you want the secret sauce, find an accountability partner. Decide who you are going to ask to hold you accountable. Tell them what you're going to do, tell them by when you're going to do it, and ask them to call you and pester you about it. Now, an accountability partner should be somebody you trust and respect, somebody you're going to feel guilty about not keeping your promise to, somebody that's going to have that leverage and commitment that when it's 10 o'clock at night and you're trying to get it done and your deadline's down to the wire, that you're going to go ahead and do it because you made a promise to your buddy, and you know you're going to feel like a jerk if you don't follow through on that promise. If you need help finding an accountability partner, we can help you with that. If you're interested, another way of finding out is if you want to take it to a whole other level and you want to get some direct hands-on one-on-one coaching support, go ahead and give us a call. Strategy sessions are designed to help understand what the value of one-on-one individual personal coaching would look like for you and the kind of dynamic that it can create for maximum acceleration. If you're interested and serious about taking your business to the next level, sign up for one of our strategy sessions. There's 2 ways you can do that. One is you can go ahead and go to our website and post a request. The other is that you can go ahead and dump it into the Q&A section of this webinar platform right now. Now, by the way, we only have a handful of these strategy sessions open every day or every week because it's based on our coaches' time. They're investing their time in you to see growth in what you do and implement. If you're serious about taking your business to a whole other level, then we offer those sessions, but we only have a handful of them every week, and they're scheduled on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you want to take action and you're serious about taking action, why don't you go ahead and post in the Q&A right now, give us the best phone number and email address to contact you for scheduling, and we'll get that going. Otherwise, if you're listening to this on recording or on video and you want to go ahead and take advantage of one of those free strategy or the free coaching sessions, go ahead and just email us or jump on our website at www.mxlcoach.com/strategy, and you'll be able to register right through the site to be able to get that strategy session booked and scheduled. Otherwise, guys, take something from this program and take advantage of the time that you've invested today to make your business better and pay you more. Guys, with that, I'm going to keep this platform open for just a few more minutes. And by the way, guys, I know we ripped through a lot of information today, and I know there were several questions in here that we didn't have time to get to. We will follow up with those questions directly. Guys, if you still have any other questions that you'd like us to address for you, feel free to go ahead and post them in the Q&A because we will be following up on them. Coach Brad and Coach Linda, you guys got anything you'd like to chime in on just as a kind of a closing thought here?
From my perspective, I've loved talking about this. There's so much more to share. I wish I could take every one of you to lunch and spend a couple hours with you just hearing about your specific problems and needs and talking about, brainstorming about it and sharing ideas. And I see in the question box there's so many questions that we didn't get to that I want to answer. So I hope I have an opportunity to talk to some of you again.
Well, guys, I'm going to make a promise to everybody right now that I'm going to be working into the webinar schedule, definitely a part 2 for today's program off the heels of what we've talked about today, because there's a ton more information that we all need in this area, myself included. I learned from these programs just as much as you guys do. So we'll definitely be taking advantage of that. Coach Brad?
Guys, it's about implementation, and it's about talking different to these realtors. Stop just walking in their office and stuffing their boxes. If you're going to use that time, the hour, to hop in your car, drive around to offices and stuff boxes, imagine what you could do with that hour if you just focused on 2 or 3 agents and went and met them one-on-one. How much further would your business go with those 2 or 3 or 4 agents versus trying to hit every agent in your marketplace and get them a rate sheet that they probably toss in the trash? So start building those relationships one-on-one, 5 a day. You will not imagine what can happen to your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Brad. I couldn't have said it better myself. Guys, this is about partnership. It's about creating that 8 times results synergy, and that only happens by connecting on what's important, what the major goals are, and how you can leverage each other's strengths in a one-on-one environment or small group environments. And that's, in essence, you guys end up becoming the coach to the accountability partner, the resource that makes all the difference in the world to be able to help them take their business to the next level. The fact of the matter is, guys, let go of the whole idea of asking for the referrals and begging for business. It's not worth it. It doesn't produce results. Instead, focus on being a business development partner to them first and foremost. How can I help you, Miss Agent, do more business, Mr. Agent, do more business in the coming weeks, months, and years? How can we work as a team to create a 1 and 1 is 11 effect? Doing more business together than either of us could hope to ever do separately or independently. Let's leverage each other's strengths and work as a team to make a difference in this community. So in that thought, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the audio. I'm actually going to jump off the phone here in just a couple of seconds. We are going to leave this platform open.